Hi, my name is Lori Burrell and I'm part of the iBloom team. Today begins week number 48 of our one-year journey to live a life you love. This week's topic is, I choose to make a difference. About 20 years ago, I caught myself in the comparison game. I had two really good friends that lived in the same subdivision I did, and our kids were about the same ages, so we had play groups together and watched each other's kids when we had appointments. Both of these girls had been business majors in marketing and in sales. They were both great at public speaking and very good at leadership skills, and those came out in school and church activities. Those are things that I really didn't care to do. I really didn't like public speaking. I still really don't like it. And I was more of a behind-the-scenes person. So I used to think, how am I making a difference? I don't have those skills and those gifts to contribute. But one thing I did have is I was self-employed and my hours were flexible. One day I was at the grocery store shopping in the middle of the day, thus those flexible hours, because it's so much easier to shop when you don't have your kids and when other people's kids aren't out. I was in the cereal aisle and I ran across a friend, a woman that I knew from our school. Her son was in the same class as my oldest daughter, and we knew each other. I wouldn't call us close friends. We had done parties together, worked at the book fair, but she was an acquaintance. So I said hi in the usual, how are you doing? She was dressed in her work clothes, but she looked a little dazed. All of a sudden she burst into tears. She told me she had just left the doctor's office and had been diagnosed with breast cancer. Besides her husband, I was the first person to hear that news. Well, we had a moment in the cereal aisle as we hugged and cried, and she shared the news and what her plan was, and I promised to pray for her, which I did. And I'm happy to say 20 years later, she still is a breast cancer survivor. As I was driving home that day, what I realized is we all have ways that we can make a difference. Yes, maybe I wasn't the greatest public speaker or didn't have the best leadership skills, but I had the gift of availability, and I was able to encourage and invest in people. So we challenge you this week to look at your spiritual gifts, your passions, your strengths and abilities. We did those things earlier in our book. If you're joining us on the journey now, you can go back to those chapters and work through those exercises, because everybody can make a difference. There is nothing that we do that is too small. Look at your world, look at your people, your family, your coworkers, your book club, your Bible study. Where can you make a difference? Where can you use your gifts? You have a great week.